Hey guys, it's Wendy. Today I wanted to do a little bit different video. I got inspired. I was watching YouTube this morning and kind of straighten this out a little bit. And the Gaines' kids from Magnolia, they are now, Drake and Ella, especially Drake, have gotten into making some YouTube videos of their mom cooking and doing different stuff. And if you guys haven't seen it, you need to go on YouTube and look for Magnolia or the Gaines or whatever. They're all over the place, but she's got some really great videos of her cooking and different tips and stuff on while you're in the quarantine and things to do. Anyway, today is a very special day. My parents, I don't know if I've kind of alluded to, my parents lived on a really big farm, and I finally talked them into selling the farm and moving close to me so that I can help start taking care of them, because there's a lot of things going on now with them that they just could not maintain that farm anymore. But anyway, today's a special day. It's March 22nd, and today is my mom's 75th birthday. And we're on lockdown, and they're very much locked down. I won't let them go anywhere. And I even hate to go over and visit them because I'm afraid that I'm going to somehow transmit this virus, but hopefully not. But anyway, I have stuff to make her a birthday cake. And so that's what I want to do today. So I was just going to make a cake, and maybe you guys can do it with me and kind of share with her birthday. Since they are quarantined, I thought this would be a great way to share it, and maybe her friends will see this video and send her some hellos and happy birthdays from it. Anyway, I'm just going to get started making this cake, and I will tell you a little bit about everything as we go. It's not homemade, it's from a box, but you know, everybody wants a cake on their birthday, right? Okay, I'm gonna move the camera and we're gonna start making it. Okay, so little Betty Crocker, little box mix. Only ingredients is the dry mix, cup of water, half cup of vegetable, 3 eggs. You may hear a hum in the background. It's my oven. It's preheating to 350. And anyway, I'm just gonna mix this up real quick. I apologize for the lighting. My ring light is at the store where I was doing our fashion show, so I apologize if it's a little bit dark, but anyway, here we go. Got my favorite KitchenAid that I use maybe 2 or 3 times a year to make a cake. I'm not a big baker. Little scissors. These are my favorite Pampered Chef scissors. I've had them probably 10 years, and they're still sharp as ever. I follow directions. Got a half a cup of oil. I need 1 cup of water. Next is eggs. Oh my gosh, it's not coming out. Oh well, it's not coming out very well. Cameron and Chris are still asleep. Shh. If no one sees you eat it, it doesn't have calories. Okay, so my timer has gone off and it's acting like it's ready. So a trick I use, my stove cooks a little fast, so I always set it for a few minutes lower than what's required. And the way that I do this is I take a fork and I poke it in the middle. And if that fork comes out clean, which it did, that cake is done. If it came out with cake batter on it, then I know it needed a few more minutes, but it's done. So I'm gonna take it out. So I'm just gonna let it cool off and then we're gonna put the icing on. Okay, time for some icing. Yum. I like to stir it up a little bit so it's not hard. I don't know how long this is. Does icing have an expiration date? I don't think it does. So I'm making this cake and kind of want to share a little bit about my mom. Only a few people know what's going on, and I guess this is kind of opening up and making everything a little more transparent. About 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, we started noticing some small things going on with Mom, and even her friends were noticing things. And as far as like not remembering stuff, or my mom was an awesome cook, very good cook. And I can remember really noticing it one Thanksgiving when she made this awesome, she made an awesome sweet potato casserole. And this particular Thanksgiving, just like, it was just chaos. For some reason, a lot of stuff wasn't cooked exactly right. And when she brought out the sweet potato casserole, I was like, well, something's wrong with this. Something's missing. And she had completely forgot. She usually puts this like candied pecans on top of it, and it didn't have that on top. It's like, you know, the crunch, the yummy of the whole thing. And she had forgotten to put that on and didn't even realize it was missing something. And she got really upset because things just didn't taste right, and like we could just tell, you know, something was going on. And then Christmas, it was even more chaotic, and Mom was getting to where she could only cook one thing at a time. She couldn't multitask. And this was a lady who would have, you know, mashed potatoes, homemade biscuits, her homemade green beans that she had canned the summer before, cream corn, the sweet potato casserole, homemade pies. I mean, she used to multitask and do all these things, and she had gotten to where she could only cook one thing at a time and didn't want anyone in the kitchen with her because she had to concentrate. I'm totally messing this up as I tell this story. But the last straw came when the following year, we kept saying, Mom, you need to go see somebody, you need to go to the doctor. And she'd say, I went to the doctor and he just told me that I just need to concentrate, that I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, that it's just old age and that I'm fine. Well, that doctor retired, thank goodness. But the next year, my mom used to go with a group of friends from the lake, a friend of hers, Carolyn, if you're watching this. They had went up to Blowing Rock, North Carolina. And they went, a couple times a year, or at least once a year, as a little couple of the women, and they just had fun. They'd shop and stay at a little timeshare up in Blowing Rock and have a good time. And they were supposed to, it was right before Thanksgiving, and this particular year, Mom was going to do that, and then her friend was going to drop her off at our house, and I can't remember, let's see, they were either going to have, I think we were having Thanksgiving at our house that year. But anyway, Carolyn called me in tears and said there was something wrong with my mom. She was just out of sorts, and was just really upset and knew something was going on. And so I went up and I got my mom, and I hope she doesn't watch this video, but I don't think she recognized me at the moment. When I walked in to pick her up, I don't think she recognized me. All right, so that's it. So in about an hour or so, I'm gonna take this over, blaze this up. Hey. Ta-da! Fancy, fancy, right? I'm gonna leave it in the pan. This is the way we like to eat our cake. We leave it just like that. I don't do the little round things, round pans, but I scoured all my drawers in the house. And we just moved in last year in this new house, so I've lost a lot of things. But I was wanting a candle. I can't find any candles, so y'all, I'm gonna use this giant candle. I think it'll be okay. 75 is a pretty big milestone, so we're gonna use this candle, and I'm gonna plop it right in the middle. It's funny. Anyway, I'm gonna clean it off really good before I stick it in there, but that's gonna be my mom's candle. So let me finish telling you a story. So when I went to pick up Mom, I had to drive up to Blowing Rock and pick her up. And when I walked in, she just, I hadn't seen my mom probably in 3 or 4 months. And when I walked in, she just kept looking at me weird, and there was no hug, and there was no, hey, Wendy, there was no, and that's not my mom. So I honestly don't think she recognized me. But she finally came around, and I got away alone with her friend, and she just told me that something wasn't right. They went, she tried on clothes, and she would put her dress on backwards. And then if they went somewhere, she was fumbling through her purse, constantly looking for stuff. And she was just like, something's off. And I've been around this before, and you need to do something. So anyway, we went out to dinner that night, and I got to see it firsthand. We were at a steakhouse in Boone, and she got lost. The salad bar was right beside of us, and she got lost coming back from the salad bar, and our table was right beside it. She got lost twice. She actually almost walked it back into the kitchen area, and she was just very confused and going the wrong directions and stuff. And she was confused about when she was supposed to come down and be with us, and that it was Thanksgiving. And anyway, that's when we knew something big had happened. And we went home and we did Thanksgiving with us. My dad came up and everything, and we just sat her down and said, look, we want you to go see somebody. You need to go see somebody, a cognitive doctor, you know, or a neurologist or something, and just make sure, you know, something's not wrong. Like, it's not just old age. It's not just you not concentrating. And it's not just us seeing it anymore, your friends. And I had to tell her that her friend Carolyn actually was crying, very concerned for her. And some reason, and I'm probably the same way, it took another friend of hers whose mother had the same situation. And I prayed, y'all, I prayed about it. I'm like, she wouldn't listen to me or my dad. And I just prayed about it, that someone in her life that has great influence over her, because certain people she would just listen to and not question. And a friend of hers, I can't remember her name, and you know who you are. But a friend called her up and told her she was going to go with her, and that they were going to go get her tested. Her neurology testing to make sure she didn't have dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. So she went. She agreed and she went. And they diagnosed her with dementia. And she told us it was mild dementia. And anyway, they started her on some different kind of medicines that are supposed to help with the memory, and she actually got a little bit better. But and this probably for a year, maybe two, it was better, but she just slowly got to where no more cooking. My dad, it has transitioned from my mom taking care of the whole household and doing all the meals. And I mean, this was a woman who would work a full-time job, and she would come home and, you know, I would look in the cupboard and be like, Mom, there's nothing here to eat. There's nothing here. And this lady would come home after working 8-9 hours a day, and she would make a full-on awesome meal. Meat, potatoes, vegetables, homemade biscuits, you name it, it'd be fabulous. It was like, I called her the miracle woman, because she would always, I'd be like, there's nothing in the kitchen. Can't find nothing to eat. And she'd come out with this awesome meal. She was an awesome cook. So to go from someone who took care of everything and made all these awesome meals to not being able to cook at all and getting very irritated very easily, it was tough on my dad. It's real tough. It was tougher on him because he's with her 24/7. So this is a huge reason why they moved here. But my dad is also, you know, he's getting older, and it's getting harder for him to do things. And actually this past week, we thought he had a stroke. Luckily it wasn't. We think he's got some kind of infection in his body that's making an old stroke symptoms come back. And so this week has been very chaotic, and it's whenever Mom's routine gets interrupted, it kind of throws her in a tailspin. So it was 3 days ago when Dad had to leave in an ambulance, and you know, we're in this midst of this crazy pandemic. So as you can imagine, all that's adds stress to the situation. And anyway, it's like the worst time in the world to get sick or have a heart attack or have anything happen to you. Anything going on. It's just the worst time ever for something like that to happen. It's the worst time anyway, but on top of this. So my mom is extra confused the last couple of days, and by midday of the day that he went to the hospital, she had forgotten everything that had happened that morning and was very confused, and she was kind of hallucinating too. It's very sad. It's a very sad disease. So I probably haven't said this, but Mom has full-on Alzheimer's. It's not dementia. And I know they used to mention Alzheimer's interchangeably, and to me, dementia sounds a little less threatening, but it's Alzheimer's. And there's no cure. I'm hoping one day there will be, but right now there's not. And they have medication, but it slows it down if you're a person that takes well to these medications. It slows the progress down, and I believe it did slow her down, and she got a little bit better. But it's sad, y'all. The mom that I had before is not the same, and I know it's going to get worse. She still knows her name. She could tell you everything, from a long time ago, but anything short term, she cannot remember. She still dresses herself, but you have to stand there and instruct her, because she will put on and off the same clothes over and over. She still can give herself her own bath, and she's still functioning. She's still good. She's still at home, and Dad's with her. But anyway, this is her 75th birthday, and I don't know how many more of these I'm going to get that I still have most of my mom, and she knows who I am. So I wanted to do this for her, and I hate that, we can't have a big party for her, but they both are at risk of catching this virus, and I know I can catch it, but I think, they're older and they're more likely to, it to be fatal. And I know you guys probably feel the same way about your parents, but I want them as long as I can have them. I'm so thankful that what happened this week, that they were here and they weren't back at the old farm, because then it would have been even more chaotic. So anyway, I don't want this to be a sad video. I want this to be a happy video. And anyway, I'm going to go over here in just a little bit and light the candle and sing her happy birthday. And anyway, I want to thank y'all for in advance for saying happy birthday to my mom. Her name's Barbara. I call her Babs. And she and my dad both were little social. They were very social. They played bluegrass music, and they played every weekend, and had many friends, and they were just little social butterflies. And now they're so isolated and cut off from everybody. It's really sad. This is a really hard time for them, and I hate it. I hate it. But I'm hoping maybe they're not they're not technical at all. So I'm hoping maybe I'm going to post this to, they have a Facebook page they don't even know that they have. So I'm going to post this to my page, and I'm going to post this to their page, and I'm hoping that all their friends and family will see it and send her happy birthday wishes and stuff, and messages of encouragement, and I will show it to them. I'm going to show it to them, and it will really, I think, lift their spirits. So anyway, enough sadness, enough. So anyway, that's it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Wendy. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, you gotta blow away from everybody.
Yay!
We're doing air hugs. I love you. I love you.
chocolate last.
That's a good cake. Girls have all food. Wendy, that's a good cake.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to Warren, Chris, Cameron, Ashley. You're sweet.
Forehead
Can
on.
you read it?
Yeah, I can see. My glasses is over here. Sometimes you can put it so small and then you can
You can.
sometimes you might feel
Read it a little
like
bit louder.
sometimes you might feel like a giant who can climb a beanstalk. However you are feeling, I want to know how important you are. Whenever you need a little comfort, a little safe, a little brother, just whisper in my ear and tell me how I'll be right. I'll be here for you. I think that's it. That's kind of like my dad, not my dad doll, but
That's for frustrations,
I
right?
still got it. I still got it.
This would be good whenever you're feeling anxious or something. You can just hug it.
Well, she have it.
Yeah, keep it off the
Thank you for
floor.
having it.
Yeah. Mama, I want you to tell me the story of when you and Daddy got eloped. The day that you got eloped.
I was 16 years old, and I was washing windows for my mom. And Billy came down there, and he said, we're gonna go get married. I said, okay. And he said, I hadn't done any clothes work to get married. He said, I'm going to get Flossie's and get you some clothes.
And who's Flossie?
That was his grandmother.
Okay.
And she was real friendly. So we was in Swepsonville where she lived, but she lived up there. And she came down there and she said, no, Billy said,
She's walking down the road.
yeah, she was walking down the road towards the country store, Swepsonville. And Billy stopped and she said, what are y'all doing? He said, we're gonna go get married.
See where we're at.
I said, what are we gonna get married at? He said, South Carolina. And she jumped in that car. That's where she lived growing up. You know, she worked in the cotton fields and all that stuff. But you would have loved her. She was a hoot. So what she did. Prissy always had a pocketbook on her wrist.
Okay, so Flossie jumped in the car.
Yeah. And she said, where y'all going? And Billy told her where we was going. And she said, well, I want to go with you. We said, okay, get in. She got in and we took off. He took me to his sister's house to borrow a dress to wear, you know. And we got on down there and got the judge, whatever he was.
Justice peace.
Yeah, justice of the peace. We told him, come get married. And he said, Well, I have to see the driver's license or something, whatever, I don't know, remember.
Birth certificate.
Birth certificate. But we didn't have the birth certificate with us, and he was 17.
You were getting ready to go into the service.
I was already,
He was
You were in
already
the
in
service.
I was just home for the weekend.
How long had y'all been dating before this?
Forever.
Y'all were sweethearts like in elementary school, weren't you?
Yeah.
Ever since
I was
elementary school.
13 years old and she was around 12, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Being a couple.
We met at the cemetery, at the community center.
In Saxville Hall.
Yeah, and he'd come down there, you know, and he's bashful. And so,
What? You don't have a bashful
well,
thing in
well,
his
he
body.
wasn't he? He was real bashful.
Brown girls.
Anyway, they started coming down to the community center. They had skating and volleyball and all kinds of things down in the community building. And he'd be down there, he'd thumb down there.
I walked out there a couple times.
Yeah.
7 miles.
Oh god.
And
He wasn't too bashful.
and so, anyway,
Tell her how you said you felt when I come in down so.
what did I say?
You said your heart just woo.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cute.
He got my cousin to walk me home from the community center.
I asked your cousin.
I mean,
I asked you if I could walk you home.
yes, and I told him yeah, he could. And that was it.
So
Yeah.
y'all didn't go to school together? Y'all just knew each other from the convenience center?
No, yeah.
So y'all went to different
Community
schools?
building.
Wow, that's something.
So y'all went to the Justice of Peace.
Yes.
And they asked to see your birth certificate. I'm guessing you didn't have it with you. What
And so
happened?
he told me, his grandmother said, Judge, I know, I've been knowing this girl all her life. Said she's old enough to get married. He said, well, she hadn't got any proof to give me that she can get married.
And she said, I gotta talk to your mama. And you said, I'll call mama. But you didn't. You called your girlfriend, got her pretending.
Yeah, Pauline Bird.
Yeah.
She
And-
was free.
And she said,
She pretended to be Granny.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm starting to suspect with these 58 years, you guys maybe ain't really been married. Maybe it wasn't all legal back then. She didn't talk to your
So he
mom.
believed that
he just wanted to get rid of her.
Yeah.
If night time, he said, I'm gonna marry y'all this girl. Well, we didn't have the money to get married on. And you'd pick butter beans for Edna. And she pitched in $3 and I $4, $5. And then I had the rest of it.
how much did it cost to get married?
$10.
You didn't have $10. You had to put your money together.
And we was a long way away from home.
And then we come back to grandma's house. Tell her about that.
We came back to his grandmother's house
Let her
and let her out, you know. She said, y'all come on in and spend the night with me. Because his grandmother, if you talking in real, said, we just got married, we ain't gonna spend the night.
She said, I'll sleep on the couch on that
She didn't understand that.
So where did you end up going then?
Went to my brother's house. Well, yeah. Went to my brother's
Was that
house.
Ronnie or who's the brother? Your brother?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Went to Jimmy's house. Wake him up, told him to call him up. Told him that I was okay, that me and him got married.
How'd that go? I mean, there's nothing you can do. Just they like Billy, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I called my mama before she called her mama
This is funny to me.
and tell her what mama said to me.
Oh, he said, you better take that young and hungry. She ain't going. Billy's been
She said,
spending the night with her.
She said, take it, you better take a youngin' home. Said her mama's not gonna want her to stay all night with you.
We got a motel room.
One got a motel room and the bar was scared dead. And they come that night, that morning, knocked on the door. The room cleaning service, the scared boss thought it was law or and then I had to go back. More ship, I had to go back. No, we just got that one night.
So did you go back home? Did you go back home
Yeah.
to your mama?
I went back home to my mama, but I left and went back home to Billy's mama.
He stayed at Mama's mom.
And I got a job. My first job was at the Guilford Dairy Bar in Burlington. And I fudged and told you that I was 18 or whatever. And they hired me. And I worked there